Chosen one, listen carefully. What you are about to hear is not casual encouragement, not general inspiration, and not meant for everyone who happens to come across it. This message is urgent, intentional, and deeply sacred. If your heart is not surrendered, if you are not walking sincerely with God, this may feel distant or unnecessary to you. And that is okay. You are free to step away. But if something within you feels alert right now, if your spirit feels stirred, heavy, or quietly attentive, then understand this clearly: you are here by divine timing, not coincidence. No one ever comes this close to God by accident. Proximity to His presence is never random, never careless, and never without purpose. You may not fully understand how you arrived at this point in your life, but heaven does. Every season that confused you, every delay that tested you, every quiet moment where you felt unseen was part of a larger design. You are closer to God than you realize, and right now, heaven is paying attention to you in a way that is both personal and precise. This closeness may not feel dramatic. It may not look impressive to others. In fact, it may feel heavy, lonely, or strangely quiet. But do not mistake silence for absence. God often works most intimately in stillness. What you are experiencing now is not punishment, and it is not stagnation. It is positioning. You are standing in a sacred space where clarity is forming, where your spirit is being aligned, and where your understanding of yourself, your struggles, and your calling is about to shift. Stay with this message until the end, because what is being revealed is not meant to overwhelm you, but to steady you. This is not about elevating your ego or separating you from others in pride. This is about helping you understand why your path has been narrow, why your convictions have grown stronger, and why you can no longer live comfortably in shallow spaces. God does not draw people this close to impress them. He draws them close because He trusts them. You may feel unqualified. You may still wrestle with doubt, fear, or unanswered questions. But God is not intimidated by your humanity. He is drawn to your sincerity. What qualifies you is not perfection, but willingness to listen, to surrender, to be refined, and to remain faithful even when clarity is delayed. That posture is rare. And it is the reason this moment matters. Take a breath. Let your mind slow down. You do not need to rush into understanding everything at once. Let this settle into your spirit. You are not behind, you are not lost, and you are not forgotten. You are here because you are ready to receive what comes next. And what comes next will help you see why being this close to God changes everything. Chosen one, let me speak to you plainly now, without exaggeration and without fear. Not everyone is allowed this close to God. And it is important that you understand this truth deeply, not with pride, and not with insecurity, but with humility. This closeness is not a reward for perfection, and it is not proof that you are better than anyone else. It is a sign of trust. God does not draw people near at random. He is intentional, precise, and deliberate in who He allows into deeper communion with Him. You did not arrive here by accident. You were escorted here through pressure, through seasons that almost broke you, and through moments where faith was the only thing you had left. Many people desire God's blessings, but few are willing to endure the shaping that prepares a soul for God's presence. Many want God's hand, but very few can remain steady in His presence. You stayed. You remained open when it would have been easier to harden your heart. You prayed when answers were delayed. You trusted even when clarity was absent. That is why you are here. Closeness to God is not about emotion or intensity. It is about alignment. God draws near to hearts that remain soft under pressure, to those who choose obedience even when no one is watching, and to those who refuse to compromise their integrity for comfort. You have been doing this quietly, often without recognition. You may not feel holy. You may still wrestle with doubts, questions, and internal battles. But understand this clearly: God is not intimidated by your humanity. He is drawn to your sincerity. What separates the chosen from the crowd is not flawlessness, but willingness. Willingness to be corrected when it is uncomfortable. Willingness to be refined when it is painful. Willingness to surrender control when fear tempts you to grasp tighter. Throughout Scripture, God always separated those He intended to use deeply. Moses was drawn into the wilderness. David was hidden among the sheep. Elijah was isolated by the brook. Even Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray. Proximity to God often requires distance from distraction. If you have felt pulled away from people, routines, or even old versions of yourself, this is not loss. It is preparation. God is teaching you how to hear Him without noise. Some people need constant stimulation, affirmation, and movement. But God knows you can sit in stillness. You can endure quiet. You can listen beyond words. That ability makes you dependable in the kingdom and dangerous in the spirit. You were allowed this close because God knows you will not misuse intimacy. Some would turn closeness into ego, superiority, or control. But God sees your heart. He knows you would rather serve than be seen, obey than impress. And that posture keeps you safe in His presence. If you are feeling closer to God while becoming more aware of your own smallness, you are exactly where you should be. True closeness does not inflate the ego. It humbles the soul. Chosen one, there is something important you must understand about being this close to God. God does not draw people near simply to comfort them. He draws them near to entrust them. Closeness carries responsibility. The deeper the intimacy, the greater the accountability. This is why God waits until the heart is ready before revealing more. He has been observing your motives, your reactions, your humility, and your obedience in hidden places. And you passed tests you did not even realize were happening. When God allows you into deeper communion, He begins to refine your discernment. You no longer chase everything that sparkles. You feel when something is off, even if it looks good on the surface. You sense when a door is not from God, even if it promises opportunity or comfort. This discernment did not appear overnight. It was formed through disappointment, through betrayal, and through prayers that were not answered the way you expected. Those experiences sharpened your spiritual senses, and that is why you are trusted with proximity. Let me ease your mind about something that may be troubling you. If you are this close to God, it does not mean you have arrived. It means you have been invited. And invitations can be withdrawn if pride enters. That is why humility has become your companion. That is why God keeps you dependent on Him. Deep down, you know you cannot do this without Him. And that dependence is not weakness. It is protection. You may have wondered why your life does not look like others. Why your path feels narrower. Why certain doors closed while others seem to flourish around you. Listen carefully. God limits the chosen to protect them. He restricts access because distraction would dilute the assignment. What looks like limitation is actually divine focus. God is guarding what He has placed inside you because it carries weight. This closeness is also why your convictions feel stronger now. Things you once tolerated now trouble your spirit. Conversations feel empty. Certain environments drain you. This is not you becoming judgmental. This is your spirit becoming sensitive. God fine-tunes those He draws near. You are learning to guard what enters your mind and your heart because your inner life matters now more than ever. Some of you carry a quiet fear. You feel this closeness, but you worry about failing God. You worry about messing it up. Hear this clearly and let it calm your spirit. God did not bring you this far to abandon you. He knew your weaknesses before He called you. His grace is not fragile. His patience is not thin. What He desires from you at this level is not striving, but surrender. Not perfection, but obedience. Not constant effort, but consistent faithfulness. Being this close also means God speaks to you differently. Sometimes not with words, but with a nudge, a restraint, a heaviness, or sudden clarity. The closer you are, the subtler the guidance becomes. God trusts you to listen. And that trust is not given lightly. Chosen one, now I must speak to you about a truth that few are prepared to hear. Getting close to God comes with a cost. Not a loud cost. Not a dramatic cost. But a quiet, misunderstood cost. And if you are honest with yourself, you have already been paying it. Divine proximity is not glamorous. It does not always feel victorious. In fact, many who walk closely with God feel misunderstood, unseen, and at times deeply alone. This is not punishment. It is refinement. When God draws you closer, He removes the noise that once comforted you. He strips away attachments that were never meant to sustain you. He gently, yet firmly, takes away what would distract you from hearing Him clearly. And yes, this can feel like loss. People drift. Conversations change. Things that once brought excitement now feel empty. But understand this, closeness to God often feels like isolation before it feels like peace. Many people mistake this stage for abandonment. They assume God has withdrawn because the familiar noise is gone. But silence near God is not distance. It is trust. God knows you no longer need constant reassurance. He is teaching you how to live anchored, not entertained. And that anchoring requires quiet. You stayed when it hurt. You remained when it confused you. That is not weakness. That is spiritual maturity being formed in real time. You may have noticed that you feel more deeply than before. You sense shifts others ignore. You notice tension, misalignment, and unspoken truths. This sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a byproduct of nearness. But sensitivity without understanding can feel overwhelming. That is why God is teaching you emotional discipline. He is showing you how to feel without drowning, how to care without collapsing, and how to love without losing yourself. One of the hardest costs at this level is relational. As you grow closer to God, you may find that you no longer fit comfortably in shallow spaces. This does not make you superior. It makes you aware. Light reveals without speaking, and not everyone is ready to see themselves clearly. Some relationships become strained, not because you changed aggressively, but because your presence alone exposed misalignment. Loving people who cannot walk with you anymore is painful. Wanting to explain yourself but knowing silence is wiser is heavy. Yet this restraint is advanced spiritual maturity. Another hidden cost is responsibility. When you walk closely with God, ignorance is no longer an excuse. Conviction arrives faster. Discernment sharpens. You cannot unsee what God has shown you. You cannot return to who you were. This awareness can feel weighty. You may feel tired in ways sleep does not fix. That is not failure. That is internal transformation. Your soul is shedding old identities, releasing survival patterns, and healing at deeper levels. And hear this clearly, feeling tired does not mean you are weak. It means you are growing. Just like roots grow quietly beneath the surface, this work happens internally before anything visible appears. God does not rush healing. He heals thoroughly. Stay with Him here. The cost you are paying now is not wasted. It is shaping you for peace that cannot be shaken. Chosen one, let me speak to the question you have been carrying quietly in your heart. You have felt the pressure, the stretching, the waiting, and at times the frustration, and you keep wondering, what is all of this for? Hear this with clarity and calm: God does nothing without purpose. This season you are in is not random, and it is not wasted. God is preparing you internally before He ever moves externally. He is far more concerned with who you are becoming than with what you are about to do. Right now, God is strengthening your inner foundation. Earlier seasons focused on action, movement, and visible progress. This season is about stability. Many people collapse when responsibility increases because their inner life was never fortified. God refuses to let that be your story. He is reinforcing humility, patience, obedience, and trust in you now, so that when your influence expands, your soul does not fracture under the weight. You may have noticed that certain areas of your life feel slowed down. Progress feels delayed. Momentum feels interrupted. This is not denial. It is alignment. God often slows His chosen so they do not outrun their own wisdom. Speed without discernment is dangerous. Timing without preparation is destructive. God is teaching you how to carry peace in uncertainty, how to remain steady when outcomes are unclear, and how to trust His voice even when the path ahead is not fully visible. Another part of this preparation is learning to detach from outcomes. Earlier, your prayers may have been urgent, specific, and filled with anxiety about results. Now they are quieter, deeper, and more surrendered. This is not loss of passion. This is growth of faith. You are learning to trust God's intention over your expectation. Along with this, God is healing your relationship with control. You are realizing that control was often a response to fear, not wisdom. God is teaching you how to steward what is yours to manage and release what is not. God is also strengthening your sense of identity. You are learning to stand alone without becoming bitter, confident without becoming arrogant, and patient without becoming passive. Opposition no longer destabilizes you the way it once did. You are becoming less reactive and more rooted. This is preparation. God is shaping you to lead with discernment, not impulse, and to influence without needing visibility. You may not see it clearly yet, but God is refining your voice. This does not necessarily mean a public platform. Influence does not always look like exposure. Sometimes it looks like wisdom, counsel, and quiet leadership. God is teaching you when to speak and when silence carries more authority. He is also teaching you endurance, not the kind that grits teeth and survives, but the kind that remains soft while waiting. If you feel capable of more but restrained by timing, understand this: readiness is not urgency. Readiness is stability. God does not rush what He values. You are not being held back. You are being positioned. And when the time comes, you will move with clarity, peace, and strength because you were prepared in the quiet. Chosen one, now we must speak honestly and without fear. The resistance you have been sensing is not imagined, and it is not coincidence. It is also not a sign that you are weak or off course. It is because of who you are becoming. The enemy is not intimidated by noise or performance. He is not threatened by people who speak loudly about faith but live shallowly. What unsettles him is quiet authority. What disrupts him is depth. And what makes him nervous is someone who walks closely with God without needing attention or approval. Opposition at this level is rarely dramatic. It is subtle, persistent, and designed to wear you down rather than frighten you away. The enemy's primary strategy here is not destruction, but distraction. If he cannot remove you from the path, he will try to exhaust you on it. That is why you may have experienced mental fog, spiritual fatigue, or waves of self-doubt that seem to appear without reason. These are not personal failures. They are tactics. Notice how the pressure often targets your mind, your confidence, your sense of identity, your perception of timing. Thoughts whisper that you are behind, that you missed something, that others are further ahead. That voice is not God. God convicts, but He does not confuse. He corrects, but He does not accuse. The enemy understands that if you remain steady, grounded, and aligned, you will be effective. And effectiveness threatens systems built on deception. Another reason the enemy is uneasy is because you are developing discernment. Discernment is dangerous to illusion. You no longer accept everything at face value. You sense when something is off, even if it appears good. Temptation at this level rarely comes as obvious sin. It comes as misalignment, reasonable options, good opportunities, urgency that bypasses prayer. The enemy hopes you will move quickly rather than wisely. You may also feel moments of emotional isolation, not because you are physically alone, but because your inner world feels misunderstood. This isolation is meant to weaken resolve. But hear this truth: you are not alone. You are simply uncommon. Resistance is selective. Pressure reveals value. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. The pushback you feel is confirmation that your life carries weight in the spirit. Another tactic is discouragement through delay. Whispering that nothing is happening, that your obedience is unnoticed, that your prayers are ineffective. The enemy hopes you will quit quietly, not rebelliously, but by settling. But God has been teaching you restraint, discernment, and silence for a reason. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Alignment is defense. Peace is protection. Obedience is authority. One of the clearest signs the enemy is nervous is when peace becomes your weapon. When chaos surrounds you but does not enter you, something powerful is happening. Calm faith cannot be manipulated. Forgiveness closes doors the enemy relies on. Rest threatens him because a rested soul hears God clearly. You do not need to be afraid of resistance. Stay aligned. Stay grounded. Stay obedient. The enemy is not nervous because you are loud. He is nervous because you are becoming unshakable. Chosen one, this is where many stumble, not because they lack faith, but because they resist the mental shift God is asking of them. Closeness to God demands a new way of thinking. Old mental patterns cannot sustain new spiritual depth. God, in His wisdom, is reshaping your mind so your soul can remain at peace. At this level, reaction becomes your greatest enemy. God is teaching you that not everything requires a response. Silence is no longer weakness. It is discernment. You are learning to slow your thoughts, to pause before reacting, to question impulses rather than obey them automatically. This is not passivity. This is mastery. A disciplined mind is a guarded life. God governs the inner world before He entrusts influence in the outer world. That is why you may notice a growing distance between what you feel and how you respond. You still feel deeply, but you are no longer ruled by emotion. Emotions are real, but they are not always accurate. At this level, you acknowledge them without letting them lead. Another shift is your relationship with outcomes. You are learning to release attachment to specific results. You do your part faithfully and leave the rest with God. This releases anxiety. Anxiety thrives where control is demanded. Peace thrives where trust is practiced. God is dismantling your need for approval as well. You no longer seek validation from those who cannot see your assignment. Their opinions no longer carry the same weight. This does not make you cold. It makes you free. You may feel mentally tired at times, not because you are burning out, but because you are transitioning. Your mind is shedding old defense mechanisms, overthinking, hypervigilance, people-pleasing, and self-criticism. These patterns once protected you. Now they limit you. God is replacing them with trust. You are learning to observe your thoughts rather than drown in them. Some thoughts are invitations. Others are intrusions. Discernment helps you tell the difference. Stillness is becoming restorative. Silence no longer feels empty, it feels full. This is a sign that your nervous system and your spirit are aligning. You crave solitude more than stimulation, not to withdraw, but to recalibrate. God is teaching you to stop carrying tomorrow today, chosen one. As this message comes to a close, it is important that you do not rush away from what has been revealed. Let it settle. Let it breathe. Let it root itself within you. Nothing you have walked through has been accidental, and nothing you are feeling right now is meaningless. The closeness you have experienced with God, the quiet pressure, the inner stretching, the loneliness, the peace, the fatigue, and the clarity are all signs of alignment, not confusion. You are not unraveling. You are being refined. Understand this deeply. Not everyone is called to walk this close to God. Many desire the benefits of faith without the responsibility of intimacy. But intimacy requires surrender, patience, and trust when answers are delayed. You stayed. You listened. You did not abandon the process even when it was uncomfortable. That matters more than you realize. God values faithfulness in hidden seasons more than visible success in public ones. You are stepping into a season where striving will no longer serve you. Effort will be replaced by alignment. Anxiety will be replaced by trust. Reactivity will be replaced by discernment. This does not mean life will suddenly become easy, but it does mean it will become clearer. You will recognize what deserves your energy and what does not. You will feel less pulled by external pressure and more guided by internal peace. That peace is not passive, it is powerful. There will still be moments of uncertainty. There will still be days when you do not fully understand what God is doing. But now you know this truth: clarity is not always immediate, but it is always intentional. God reveals what you need when you are ready to carry it. You are no longer being prepared for potential, you are being positioned for purpose. And purpose does not rush. Purpose moves with precision.